Well, Energy Minister Josh Frydenberg joins us now. Minister, everyone agrees this blackout was caused by the storms, including you. So why exactly does it raise questions about renewable energy?
Well, you're right. This was caused by the worst weather event in South Australia in half a century. But there are broader questions when such an event occurs as to the reliability and the safety and the security of the system. Now, renewables are a good thing. We support them strongly. We've got our own 23% target by 2020, and currently we see 15% of electricity generation coming from renewables. But if you take it up too quickly, it does raise questions about the frequency and the voltage into the system, because predominantly renewables of solar and the wind type are only produced in what is called intermittency. So when the wind's not blowing, the sun's not shining, then it's not being produced. And that does create frequency questions, whereas wind, whether hydro or gas or also coal, they produce 24/7 and can be much more stable for the system.
Minister, let's be clear. These are questions you're raising at quite a weird moment, by the way, not that this event is raising. Do you accept that if South Australia had nothing but the most dirty, big, powerful brown coal supplying its entire electricity, that this still would have happened?
Well, the best advice to me from the Australian energy market operator, Waleed, is it would have occurred because of that weather event.
So it has nothing to do with renewables?
But
so is this question about renewables, this broader question you want to talk about, were you planning on raising it today and the weather just happens to intervene and give you an opportunity? Or are you using an event to talk about something that's actually completely unrelated?
Well, actually, we've been talking about it for some time, because the states have these wildly aggressive, in some cases unrealistic, renewable energy targets, and the federal government has a more realistic one, and we want to bring them into harmony, because there's a whole lot of reasons for doing that, both economic as well as for the stability of the system. So they are two different issues, and let's have that debate. But our real thoughts today are with the people in South Australia who have lost power, and people were stuck in elevators, there was chaos on the roads, and of course people were stuck in their own homes.
Great, glad we've come back to the issue. Minister, did you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, how do you think the people of South Australia feel about you politicising this whole disaster, Minister?
Well, they actually feel very angry about what has occurred. And all the feedback we've got from the people in South Australia is they want answers. They don't want this to happen again. They want the system to be strengthened. And these are the questions that the energy ministers, not just the South Australian, but also the other states who are concerned about their own system, want questions to be answered. And that's where we'll ask the experts to do a formal, independent, comprehensive review, because we can't afford to see 1.7 million Australians lose their power. I mean, Queensland has major cyclones quite regularly, but they haven't lost power like this. This is the most unprecedented event we've seen across the nation in many, many years.
Minister, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good to be with you guys.
Those images of the transmission towers, that is crazy. Every time I look at it, I was speaking to my family down there, and they're in their 40s and 50s. They've never, ever, ever seen anything like it in their entire time of being alive in South Australia. They said it was crazy.
And 22 of them.
It's
not like just one or two.
It's just like watching, like a kid's toy or something.
No, you know what it is? It's the Point Break 50-year storm. That's what Bodie was.